Well, joining us now is Tamara Refai. She's the Director of External Relations and Communications for UNRWA, the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees. She joins us from Amman. Good to have you with us. So first of all, Tamara, can you explain to us what is your status now since the Israeli ban? Are you able to operate in any capacity after this ceasefire?
I'm glad you're asking, Sami, because there's a misconception about UNRWA. UNRWA has not stopped working in Gaza throughout the war. So our medical teams have continued delivering medical services in person and remotely. Our water and sanitation engineers and teams have continued to truck clean drinking water to the shelters. The shelters are UNRWA schools. So my UNRWA colleagues have managed these shelters with the internally displaced people inside them. In reality, UNRWA has 12,000 Palestinian staff that have not stopped working in Gaza, even though, as you rightly pointed, the Israeli legislation has banned the entry of international staff into Gaza. So my international colleagues have been managing the UNRWA humanitarian response and services remotely for a few months now.
Okay, so if I understood correctly, you can't bring in international UNRWA staff, and if I've understood correctly as well, you can't officially deal directly with Israeli authorities. Is that right? And what difference does that make to the way you can operate assistance and aid projects compared to how it would have operated before?
Your understanding is correct on both counts. It makes a huge difference not to be able to engage directly with the Israeli government on the logistics and on the day-to-day, but also on the future of UNRWA's operations. You see, there's so much coverage and very well merited to the food situation, the malnutrition, the famine that was declared, and the need to open up many more food distribution centers and to allow for much more food to come into Gaza. But where UNRWA makes a huge difference in comparison to all other humanitarian and development actors is that UNRWA runs the education and healthcare systems for Palestine refugees in Gaza. So UNRWA has to be able to roll back all its schooling, its education programs. And we started, by the way, a resumption of learning with over 36,000 children already enrolled in our Back to Learning programs. Public healthcare, this is what we do. Our medical staff, our primary healthcare centers is where normal people get their vaccinations. This is where they get their insulin. This is where they get their high blood pressure medicines. So beyond the acute humanitarian response, UNRWA runs services that are like the public sector. And that is where we have an edge. And that is primarily where we're irreplaceable in the absence of a formal Palestinian public health sector currently in Gaza. So sector.
Tamara, you mentioned the word irreplaceable. Does this mean that people are going hungry, sick people are not getting their medication, kids are not getting education because of the Israeli ban on UNRWA, that you might still be operating, but you're not able to operate at the level which you could do had there not been an Israeli ban in place?
Before this last conflict, we had over 300,000 children in UNRWA schools. We had 180 UNRWA schools, most of them operating double shifts. So close to 300 school places. What we've done recently is we've made space in our shelters and right next to our shelters for children to resume learning through our educators and teachers. We have over 8,000 teachers and educators in Gaza. That in no way replaces the acute need for children to go back to normality within a formal school setup, not only to compensate for learning losses, but also to address their trauma. There are 1 million children in Gaza. We can safely say that all of them are traumatized. 660,000 of them are of school age. That is a generation that should not be lost. It should go straight back to formal education. As we know that for Gazans and for Palestinian refugees in general, education is a source of pride, and UNRWA has always provided quality education, which is what we want to continue doing, including in Gaza.
All right. Thank you very much for explaining to us your operations, the current state of play with your operations. Tamara Refai, UNRWA Communications Director.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.